Welcome and welcome back, everybody. Tabletop Toki here. Today we're going to be doing some print and play goodness. This was something that was discussed and that I've had in my mind for a while, but finally getting around to it. So for today, I'm planning on doing a print and play for 2 games, maybe a third if we have time, but more than likely the 2. As you probably saw in the thumbnail and in the description, the 2 games that I'm planning on printing and playing today are Catnap and Galdor's Grip. So both of them should be a relatively easy print and play. If you have never done a print and play before and you want to follow along, there are links down in the description where you can get to BGG pages that have the files for the games and you can download them and make them along with me. Or, of course, if you have other print and play stuff that you need to work on, this is the time to get it done. We're just going to chill, chat, print, play some games. And if you're not into print and plays, happy to have you as well. So I have a couple of different material things here that I like to use for print and plays. So one of them being a cutting board. So we have this one here, and it's just really nice for getting really straight edges and cards on things. I have my cutting mat, my stationery tools here. So I actually just got this new pen. I used it on stream to open the box, but it's a little tiny X-Acto. So I'm really excited to see if that will be helpful. Some scissors, other X-Acto, swivel X-Acto. This pen is really cool. It is a glue pen, so we'll see if that works, especially because I can't find my actual glue stick. Some scissors. I have some boxes because I'm not sure on the sizes for Galdor's Grip. So where I'm gonna end up storing it, we'll see. And I also have off to the side just like paper printer and then of course laminating supplies for roll and write things. Hey, thanks for making it out. Absolutely love Galdor's Grip. That's awesome to hear. I have not gotten to play it. I found it maybe a month ago or so, and it looks really cool. So I'm very excited to be able to print it and hopefully be able to try it out as well. All right, so to start things off, I think I want to go ahead and start with Catnap. And for this one, I actually first heard about it from Paperspiel. And they have a lot of German print and play games. Some of them are free, some of them you can buy. But let's see. It was originally uploaded in English, and then Paperspiel did their own different like arrangement of it. So I really like the graphics from that one. What I'm envisioning doing is taking some of the graphics from theirs and then putting it together with the actual like English rules and what have you, but we'll see how that works. So we might have to just end up Frankensteining this together. I'm actually gonna switch my view here to see if we can get that going. Let's see. So I have, just to kind of show you what we're working with here. I do this one, cool. So for here we have, oh no, where did it go? So this is the original. As you can see, very cute illustrated cats with the colored pattern dies and what have you. But this one just, to me, looks a lot cleaner. So what I'm envisioning doing is just taking this and then typing out the English rules over top of it, I think. But if that proves to be too crazy, then we might just have to go ahead and just print out the English one or just the German one and have the rules off to the side. But we'll see. This was not a super planned E&P. I have some ideas of how it might go down, so we're just gonna try it out and see what happens. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is just take this and we're gonna copy it over. In fact, you know what? This might take too long. So what I might do is I might print out the German one. Just looks so cute. We might just go ahead and print this one, honestly. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. And if it's really good, then I'll make some English copies so I can play with friends. So I have printer paper, but I also have some cardstock here. which is just a little bit thicker. I like to use laminated cardstock for my roll and write print and plays because it just gives the boards a little bit more oomph. So we're gonna go ahead and try that. And it plays from 1 to 99 players. I'm gonna just make myself a board today. And like I said, I haven't played it. I just saw it. It looks really cute. I want to try it out. And I think just having the one will be a good start for me. All right. So let me pull this up so we can get it printed. And there's an A and a B side. Okay. Interesting. So ideally I want them back to back. The problem is with my printer, I'm not sure if it will print it correctly. I'm not sure which way I have to flip it because it's not a double-sided printer. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna put a little mark in the top left corner. And that way, we should know which side to insert to print the back. Hopefully it'll line up. If it doesn't, then I will just print 2 different ones and laminate them together. That's the backup plan. So out of this document, we have 1, 2, 3 pages of rules, and then pages 4 and 5 are the actual game board. So we're gonna print just page 4 to start. Oh, there is print on both sides. Ooh, let's try that. I've never done this feature before. Not that this is a super new printer, but it is newer. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and print it and we'll see what happens. Print on both sides, and we want to print it on the short edge on the long edge, on the short edge since it's landscape. We'll just see what happens. Cool. All right, and hopefully the printer isn't too loud. I don't know, can you guys hear it? It doesn't look like it's picking up, so we should be okay. All right, so while we're doing that, I'm probably gonna go ahead and hook up our laminator here so that it can get warmed up. For Galdor script, I'm not envisioning having to laminate anything, so it should just be for this board. And we might as well get rid of the pouch out as well. Okay. Oh wow, it does print double-sided. It just pushed it back in. Hey, what's up? Thanks for making it out. And as always, if y'all have any suggestions for other print and plays, I know I have a list on BGG on my wish list of games that I want to check out, but if y'all have any that are just like easy peasy builds, let me know. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Catnap is currently in the printer, which I just found out my printer does do double-sided printing, so that's kind of fun. All right, so we have, ooh, yeah, that looks pretty nice. Here's side 1 and side 2. Beautiful. Oh, these cats are so cute. The other thing that I probably could do, well, not for my board, but in the future, like I said, just typing out the English rules and putting them here. Hi. All right. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done any print and play stuff, so we'll see how it goes. I'm a little rusty. It used to be nice because the place that I used to work at was very officey, so we had access to printers and like really nice laminators and everything. Granted, I did a lot of my print and play stuff at home, but it was nice to have that space there to do it, and then I would just play them on my lunch break, but it's been a hot minute since that's been a thing. So I think what we want to do is cut off some of these excess white margins. I don't know, I'm a little crazy when it comes to how things are laid out. And let's see, how much of these margins do we want to cut off? Maybe we'll start by cutting off 1 inch. No. Older Print and Play Utopia Engine. No, that's one of the ones that I have downloaded, but I haven't gotten to play it yet. I don't know if I printed it out or if I just was intending to play it on my tablet, because that's a roll and write, right? It's been a while. Okay, let's see. We can put this the other way, actually. I'm trying to get this lined up so that it's going to cut just above where this gray box is, because that's the most outer border. Missed most of this, circle back and watch. Been dabbling more and more lately with these. Hey, not to worry, we just got started. This is literally the first thing that I've printed, and now we're just cutting it. So this is Catnap from, let me actually click. I totally forgot the designer's name. But there's a link down in the description if you want. It was an entry in a roll and write game design contest. Mark Cox, it looks like. Yeah, very exciting. And all you need for this one are 2 dice and then something to write with, and then the board. It's 20 to 30 minutes, and it looks super cute. I'm very excited. I really like roll and writes though too. I'm a little bit of a roll and write junkie. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just cut this and see where we're at. Hopefully it will turn out all right. Okay, so there's the first one, and now we want to maintain a similar margin around the edge. I think the next margin is just this gray here. And I think that will be good. Alright, go ahead and get that one. Yeah, that looks pretty nice, not gonna lie. Okay. I need to replace my blades. I don't know if you guys can see, they're a little fuzzies on the ends, but we'll get those with an X-Acto in a second. Okay, and then this one's a little tricky because this gray sticks out quite a bit. But I'm more or less lining it up with the edge of the inside of this track here to keep even, consistent margins, or to try to. And then on the back, we have that same part sticking out. So we'll do that. All right. I'm just gonna put the offcuts into my shredding pile for bunny litter. But I will not. I'm not going to shred anything on stream because that will definitely get picked up by the camera, and I don't want to hurt anybody's ears. That's not what we're here to do. Okay, so I think what we'll do is just clean up the edges now. Curious as well if y'all have printed out any fun print and plays lately or worked on any. I feel like there are so many, and there are so many cool ones, but it's difficult to, well, some of them are difficult to find in the first place. Like, you really have to be looking for them, unlike other stuff that just gets shoved in your face. But it's also sometimes difficult to find the time to put them together. And I know a lot of the print and play builds you could probably put together in just a couple minutes, but I like to be very meticulous and like really do a good job and make it look presentable, because when I play a game, I like for the game to feel and look nice, feel quality, and then B, I also just like doing crafting type things as well, especially paper crafting. So it's a win-win, but it does tend to be a little time consuming, which is why I wanted to double up and do it on stream. A lot of other people have said they've had similar things, and hopefully this eventually be like a regularly scheduled thing where we can all just get together and work on our print and play stuff. Also wonderful when they become fully fledged games too, like Barbie Basement Bath Sphere. Had that printed for the longest time. And yeah, WizKids has the dry erase one too. That's awesome. I've heard really good things about that one. I know that like each level it gets a little crazier. I have not personally played it though. There's so many good ones. All right. But definitely agree. It's awesome when they get picked up. I don't back a lot of things on Kickstarter, but a lot of any games that were previously print and plays, I always give consideration. A, because usually they have minimal components, so they're relatively inexpensive. And B, because I feel like if a designer is confident enough in their game to put it out there for free and be like, I just want people to enjoy my game, I think it's a great design, etc., and are wanting to support the community in that way and are clearly very passionate about gaming, then I have very little qualms with letting go of money and supporting them and their designs, as opposed to a majority of Kickstarters or the other side of Kickstarter where it's just how many miniatures can we shove into this box and how much can we charge for it. Okay, so the edges are like not the best, but I'll probably just have to swap out and get a new blade or use the other one. Okay, but that looks pretty good. I'm gonna just use this edge cutter now. So this one's nice because it has a 10 millimeter, 7 millimeter, and 4 millimeter corner puncher, edge cutter, corner puncher, corner punch. You can do it this way, but it's a lot easier if you see it. I've noticed there's a higher chance of success. I don't know if I just use it wrong, but when you can actually see the edge lined up in there, especially for the 4 millimeter one, tends to go a little better. Okay, we have those two edges. We have these two edges. Perfect. Oh no, I plugged in the laminator and I didn't actually turn it on. Whoops. Okay. Just tidy up the corners here. This one's super cute. Ah, I'm very excited. The original one that's in English as well doesn't have any of the colors, but I do like the colors. I think they're very cute. Even just a little pop of color with the yarn and the yellow for the stars just brightens it up a lot, I think. All right, so we'll move that. And let's see. So pulling up the rules. Agent Decker is one I've yet to print out and play. I've heard good things about that. I've heard good things about that one too. I don't remember if it was that. I remember looking at the regular and low ink version of that one, and there was a reason why I hesitated to print it out in the first batch that I was printing that day. I'm wondering if it was the number of cards. Hold on, let me look. It's gonna drive me crazy if I don't. Agent Decker. Yeah. So this one, the original version, I think just is a lot of ink. Do a lot of solid blacks and grays. The cards are full color, which honestly, like, it looks really nice, but it's a lot of ink. And then the reduced ink cards, what did those look like? Actually, what am I doing? I can pull this up so we can all look at it together. Let's see. Where is... Nope. Nope. Just kidding. Doesn't want to go. Oh, maybe I can put it over here. Yeah, that should work. Cool. So yeah, the it's just full on all art. So a lot of ink and a lot of pages of full ink. So 3 pages of full ink, fronts and backs. This is the low ink version, which a little less ink, but still quite a bit. The backs definitely will save you a little bit there. Yeah, ink heavy. Also back to Roll on the Range, which is a print and play only. Ooh. I'll have to look into that one. I know that whatchamacallit, I did a video on Aquamarine postmark games. I have Voyages as well, which I need to print out. I usually just play on my tablet by myself, but I would like to teach it to some friends. So that'll probably be a future print and play stream. But they also have a third one that had come out last year that seems pretty fun, or I've heard good things about it at least. But I have yet to get it. There's so many games to keep up with. I'm really trying to, as well, be a lot more mindful about my spending with board games this year. Obviously the Noble Knight sponsorship helps a lot because it gives me like a fixed amount for games that I'm like, okay, well, I know I can get these games, or if I wait, then I can spend this much on these games and what have you. But maybe that will incentivize me to dip more heavily back into print and plays. A few years ago, I would do like 1 or 2 games every couple months or so. Have I ever played Super Skill Pinball? I played some of the maps from the first box. While I do love roll and writes, and while it was interesting, it wasn't my favorite. Maybe it was just the maps that I played. Like, I know I didn't get to play the big fantasy map, which was like the most advanced one. But I think there are other roll and writes that I've liked a lot more. But if you have recommendations for specific maps, I'd definitely be down to give it a try again. All right, that's still warming up. Oh, sad day. Let's see. I'm wondering for the Catnap game. Let's see. So the actual rule summary, it's like, so you roll dice 2 different colors to determine the shape and pattern of each new piece in your quilt. Take turns rolling, but everybody draws on every rule. So you draw in your first piece so that it attaches to the center. You can flip or spin it. You can continue to build your quilt with each roll. And then you get a bonus if you completely surround a cat, which adds to your quilt. Avoid the same patterns touching to earn bonus points. And you have rescues to use when stuck. So little 2-shaped pieces. And if you can't play, then you check one of the boxes and the game ends if somebody has 5 stars or passes twice. Oh, cool. So it's like a little Tetris puzzle. That's actually really easy. I don't even think I need to print out English versions of that. So that's fairly straightforward to remember. Oh, it's ready. Move this off to the side. Okay. I probably should have been printing Galdor's grip while we were doing this. My bad. That's gonna laminate. Let me actually do that right now. So Galdor's Grip is a fantasy-themed card game that's played completely in hand. y'all haven't heard of it. This one is getting picked up by a publisher as well, I believe. At least that's what I read at the time when I first was looking at it. 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, fronts and backs, but the backs are just black and white. Not too bad for ink. Let's see. I'm thinking we're gonna do the print on both sides. Flip on short side. Print on both sides. Okay, and hopefully that works. I have trust issues when it comes to printers, so I think I'm just gonna print the first page, make sure everything's lined up correctly, and then I'll go ahead and try page 2. Okay, let's see. So pages 1 through 2. Okay, print on both sides is correct. Last time it gave me the option for which side I want front or back. This one does not. Oh, here it is when I click the drop down. We're gonna print on both sides, flip on short edge again since it's set up in landscape. We're just gonna print the first 2, turn that off, and see how that goes. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this back out. Just gonna cut the edges. And oh, that's good. Ooh. Pages are done. No? Oh. Hey, welcome. Glad you could make it. Catnap actually plays 1 to 99. They're rolling right. So it looks fairly straightforward. Just you have to position the pieces as best as you can. You have to try to enclose the cats to get little bonuses that will help you puzzle things together. And again, for anybody who just got here, if you're interested in either of these games, there are files, if there's more info on Board Game Geek, I put a link down in the description for both of them if you want to check them out. This particular version of Catnap is from Paperspiel. Oh no. Okay, there we go. So if you're interested specifically in this art version of it, there's that as well. It's very cute. Okay. Lining up that last edge, and then we'll cut the corner, and we should be good. Am I just super late to the party on Galdor's grip? I mean, it seems very popular, which makes sense why it was then picked up by a publisher. Super looking forward to that. These out, and let's see how our first page went. Oh yeah, that looks pretty great. Let me see if I hold it up to the light, is it lined up? Oh, that's beautiful. I love these backs because unlike with a lot of other games where you can definitely tell if it's slightly off from the print, these backs make it pretty easy. I mean, they're not exactly centered. I don't know if y'all can see. They're not exactly centered in the cards, but I think that's totally fine because they're all at least uniform. And it's not like there's a border or anything. So we'll go ahead and print the other 2. Nice. Love that. Where is my file? There we go. Boom. We're gonna do pages 3 through 6 now, I believe. Nope, 3 through 8 now, I believe. Wait a minute. 3 through 10? How many pages are there? 10. Okay, cool. The alternative, if you don't have a double-sided printer, or what I like to do just because I really like things to be lined up very, very tightly, is I will print the front and print the back, cut them separately, and then glue them together onto cardstock. It also just makes the actual cards a little bit thicker and a little more durable, which is nice. That is another option. You don't need a double-sided printer for that. Okay. So for this one, the outlines are pretty thick. I'm actually going to, I might cut these by hand. Or I'm going to test to see if this one cuts a little bit more cleanly. If it does, we'll use that. I might just cut these ones by hand. Oh, I forgot to put paper in the printer. That would be helpful. Look. I would probably not cancel printing. That didn't start. I would probably print these fronts and backs like I just said and line them up a little bit more nicely if I knew this was going to be my only copy of the game. But since it's getting published, I anticipate that if I'm able to, I'll buy a published version as well. So I'm not too worried about everything lining up just so for this print and play copy. Okay. So the things that I know about this game are obviously the theme and that it's played completely in hand. It looks like the cards are flippable, which looks pretty fun. I'm very excited to be able to try this one out. Like I said, seems like it was very well received. While we're doing this, how's everybody's week going so far? I know it's only Monday, so I guess maybe a better question is, how was everybody's weekend? You know, hard to get a gauge on the week when there's only been one weekday. Not much going on over there. Hey, sometimes that's nice. There have definitely been weeks where I'm like, I wish nothing was going on. Some more pages. Very exciting. I guess we'll just go ahead and cut each of these now. No, we're gonna cut out all the straightaways first. Thanks. Yeah, it's there's not a whole lot going on. We're just chilling and making some games, but it's long overdue. Sweet. There is one. I know I do have a corner punch, but I don't think that the corners will line up with this specific measurement of how these ones are. Actually, I guess I could check at the very least. It looks like if anything, it would be the 7mm. Does it actually work? I'm afraid it's gonna cut too much. It's hard to see. I'll do a test. Oh, that's fine. You haven't missed much. We printed out, oh, I need to cut the corners on this one. Speaking of corner punch, Catnap, and now we're working on Galdor's grip. Let's see. All right, okay, if this doesn't work, it's all your fault. I'm just kidding. It's a little close, but honestly, as long as they're consistent, I think that'll be fine. Yeah, we'll just do that. That is way faster. Thank you, Kay. I take back what I said about it being your fault if it gets messed up. Yeah, it's a little, just like 0.5 millimeter wider to cut the black edges. And again, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm anticipating buying a published copy, I would probably be freaking out and reprinting this right now, but since this is a temporary copy and and it looks pretty close, we'll just do it this way. Sweet. We have Figment of Farragut and two Figments. Entry into PNP is button shy. Good way to demo before you buy the physical games and to get out of print games. Yeah, absolutely. What was your first print and play from them? I know back in the day, I did a print and play of, what was it called? Star Maps from Button Shy. Not a wallet game, one of their roll and writes. That was a long, long time ago. About building constellations. Okay. And so that was so much faster. The punch have 3 options. Yeah, it's got 10 millimeters, 4 millimeters, and 7. So the 7 is pretty close. It's just a little bit closer on the black borders than I cut the edges. So realistically, I could cut the edges a little bit, like trim them a little bit if I wanted to be completely even, but this is close enough. I don't know if y'all can see, it's probably blurry because it's focused down here, but yeah. Rage More and Pentapork, nice. I haven't tried Pentapork yet. My friend played it at ShyCon and they really liked it. They picked it up as soon as the convention was kind of wrapping up, not knowing that it was ending. And Jason came over and was like, oh, do you like the game? And they're like, oh, I just opened it and I haven't played it yet. He just gave her a copy. I was like, dang, that's so nice. Like, oh, you can just keep it. Small, medium, large. That works too. Numpsters. Ooh, yes, I actually have a copy of Numpsters. Button Shy sent me one when it got published. I didn't end up getting to make a solo play video on it at that time, but we'll definitely keep that in mind. Hopefully they will, oh, reprint campaign in February, nice. That one's really cool, and I really like Milan's art for it. Okay, Catnap is officially done, now that I've remembered to cut the corners. This is why I didn't start printing Galdor's grip before, because I knew I would get distracted. Okay. Am I missing a thing? Oh, it's in the printer still. Oh. Oh wait, this single card I might have to reprint because it's got the person on the back and it's definitely off center. And it got smudged on the front anyway, so. Oh, but then it'll be twice as thick as all the other ones. I guess we'll just leave it. I'm sure there's a way to align that on the printer probably, but like I said, I haven't really used the double-sided feature of this particular printer, so it is what it is. Okay, what do we have here? Cheap print and play option, print on regular paper, sleeve them with a card behind it, nice. Honestly, that's the way to go. And with roll and writes, especially if they're solo, just having pulling it up on a tablet, like a draw over layer, definitely the way to do it. Curious what y'all's first print and play was as well. I think mine might have been Orchard. Was that the first one I did? From Mark Tuck. There was still a pretty video of that one, but I'm sure y'all might be familiar with that one. You know, just a really obscure print and play game that nobody's ever heard of, not even a little bit. I think that was my first one. I remember making like a top box for it as well. I was super excited. I even made custom dice, so I had, since you don't roll the dice, they don't need to be balanced or anything, so I had little wooden cubes, and on each side I drew like the different fruit for it. Love Orchard, yeah! It's still one of my go-tos for just having a chill solo game. I think it might have been Orchard and Mini Rogue. No, Mini Rogue was later. So I remember distinctly doing Mini Rogue at work with Zombie in my pocket. Range more in Pentacork, roll and write PNP, don't count due to being an easy project. That's very fair. Trying to think, I feel like there was at least, I usually when I do print and plays, I like to do 2 at a time just because the getting everything set up and getting all the tools out, not that it's extensive, but it usually doesn't really feel worth it to just do one game, especially if it's a smaller build. I know, I'm trying to think of the ones that I did last before this. I think it might have been, what's it called? Inca Lamb, which is a little roll and write game that I got off of PNP Arcade, and the other Mark Tuck, the Aqua, what is it called? Is it called Aquamarine? Aqua Garden, with the expansions. I think those might have been the last ones that I did before this. Although I feel like there must have been something in between. Zombie in My Pocket was my first, then Decula, and super deep dive into everything but Shine. Nice. This cardstock is literally just from the craft store, like thicker white paper. I have a bunch of different colors for paper craft things for making like greeting cards and stuff, but I don't even know. I don't have the packaging here to look at if there's a particular millimeter thickness or anything. Zombie in My Pocket has a special place in my heart because it was definitely one of the earlier print and plays that I did, and I posted about it on Instagram. And fun fact, that was one of Kwanchai Moria's first board game projects that he worked on doing art for. So you can tell, probably based on the look of it, it was very early in his career, and he wasn't implementing like a lot of his signature styles that he's known for now. So I just thought that was super crazy because I always like to look and see, you know, who worked on the games and what have you. And I put a picture of it on Instagram, and he commented on it. I was super excited since he's like one of my favorite board game artists. And yeah, that was very unexpected since he's not usually super active on social media. Just kind of shows up every now and then, drops down everything he's working on. So like, here it is. Oh, thanks for stopping by. And then he's gone. So I guess it was just a very opportune time. Last attempt at a card game PNP, bought dice for Grove. Scissor work was a disaster. Oh, yeah, Grove. I think of all the PNPs I've done, I think Grove was the one that I was most proud of how it turned out. Pro tip for anybody wanting to do a PNP for Grove or Orchard, you can definitely, if you own a copy of Sagrada, just use those dice. The colors match really nicely. The size of the dice is like perfect for stacking on the different fruits. And yeah, that's what I ended up doing for mine. Worked out really nicely. Any sleeving or lamination? For this one, I might throw some sleeves on it depending on if they fit okay. I don't necessarily think I want to laminate them. If this was a copy that was going to be the only copy, I mentioned earlier in the stream for people who may not have been there, that this one got picked up by a publisher, so I'm anticipating buying it. So I would definitely probably laminate it if I don't have sleeves that fit the cards really well in that case. But I think for this one, just to try out the game, I'll probably just leave it as is. Unless I like love it, in which case I'll probably just throw some sleeves on it, even if they don't fit great. Or if I end up gifting this copy to someone when the published copies come out, then maybe we'll laminate it and make it nice. Hey Ken! Welcome! Happy Monday! Alright. We're just punching out Galdor's grip here. Ah! Got a little stuck. There we go. Tavern of Wunder. It's spelled like German wonder. I wonder if that's on purpose. Or if it's not supposed to be wonder at all and it's Wunder. Let's see. I always feel like it would be really fun to design a print and play game, but I definitely have that very annoying flaw of perfectionist brain syndrome. I'm like, man, if I make one, it has to be good, but I know that I should just get in the habit of just making whatever little designs, and then eventually there will be one that's worth developing and really working on into making something really outstanding with more practice. Art is really cool. The cards look like pulp comics from the 50s. Yeah, I do enjoy the art. I believe that the print and play versions, because they're free, the designer used AI art for them, but I am hopeful and hopeful and confident that the published copies will hopefully have a hired artist to do some work for the actual published version. Although I haven't looked into it a whole lot since I first heard about the game, so take my word as just me and speculation. It's not solid facts. There might be people who have been keeping up with it in the chat that know better than I do. Oh no, that's a little bit too wide. Okay, there we go. Whew, crisis averted. Going along with the idea of making a PMP game, I think it would be really fun at some point. I don't know how we would organize it, but if y'all have ideas, let me know. I would like to do, you guys know what a game jam is? Are you familiar with that concept? So they have them for video games where you just have like a weekend or something, or a day to make a game, and you can do individual or based projects. And it's just like at the end of it, whatever you have is what you made, and everybody gets to try out each other's games and what have you. I feel like that would be really fun to do with print and play stuff, or board game stuff, I should say. I think it would be a really fun event to even maybe post online, because I know we have a lot of very creative people in the in our community. And I think having, like I said, the time limit and just knowing that, like, hey, this is not to create the perfect game, it's just to see what you can come up with in this amount of time, I think would be really fun. Ooh, okay, I'm glad there's some interest in that, because it's something I've been cooking up in here for a bit. And as far as making your own game, go for it. Yeah, so back in the day when I first got into board gaming, I like dove in pretty hard, and I did have a couple of things that I was working on for designs. There was a game about masks and like matching different colored like beads into the masks, but that one, even then I recognized like, oh, this is not like a really good game. It is playable and it is a game, but it's not a marvel of design or anything. It's just to try some stuff out. And I had one that was about different Japanese spirits called yokai, with like black beads, and it was a betting take that game. Also not the greatest, but it was functional. And then I started working on a game about leshy, which are from Eastern European folklore. They are forest spirit that, in a lot of the folklore at least, from what I could tell, they're not necessarily malevolent. They're just ridiculously silly. So they will end up doing bad, but not out of malintent, just out of taking the joke too far. Like they'll tickle you until you die, or they'll make you get lost in the forest, and you'll end up wandering forever and then eventually starving and dying. But not because the end goal is they want you to die, just because they think it's funny to like pull pranks. So I had a card game that was similar to that. It was a take that game, and although it wasn't mechanically very genius, it was pretty fun. Leshy, Leshy, I believe is how it's most commonly spelled. That one I actually play tested a lot at like game nights with friends, got a lot of good feedback on and revised. I brought it to school where I taught at the time, and some of my students, I guess, would like stay in during lunch and play Munchkin. And when I found that out, I was like, yo guys, deal me in. I'll be right back. I had to drop this off at the office. But I ended up bringing it for some of my students to play, and they really enjoyed it. Gave some good feedback. But that was around the time that I was starting grad school as well, though. So I wasn't able to continue working on it as, or put a lot of focus and time and effort into it. I remember one day my students came into my room in the morning and they were like, hey, are you gonna come play games with us at lunch? And I told them I had grad work and I had to write a paper. So if they want to do my homework with me, I could. They weren't down for that. They asked if I brought my game though and if they could borrow it and play it. So yeah, that means they enjoyed it. But yeah, it would be super fun to get back into it and see what kinds of things I could come up with, because I feel like thinking about the last time that I was dabbling with game design was such a long time ago. And there are definitely a lot of more games that I've played since, and more things that I understand about game design and more mechanics, just how they could work together. My big thing is that it's hard for me to get started out of nothing. Like, I don't necessarily think I'm a very creative person. I think I'm a problem solver. So if somebody says make a game, my brain's just like, I don't know what that means. I have no idea. But if somebody says, hey, I want to make this game with these types of things as like a framework, then my brain goes into problem solving mode and says, well, the way that you could do that is XYZ. But coming up with something from scratch, I think for me is the challenging part. But yeah, I think having a game jam type of thing would be really fun. Like an event. There's plenty of people that are kind of in the same boat. You can bounce ideas off of each other. It's like you're dedicating a specific amount of time to it where you're not doing anything else. So kind of alleviate some of that pressure. So that's another big thing that happens for me is I get very sidetracked by I need to do XYZ while I'm working on something else. Okay. Almost there. Just about halfway. I think it would be really fun to do a game jam event at a board game convention. I have not been to many large conventions, so maybe some of y'all who are more traveled than I have, is that a thing that they do? If they don't, they should. My local game store did a similar event, but you paid X amount. They gave you some basic components and materials to work with. They gave you a week to put something together, and then they had like a showcase where you come in the one day and everybody rotates around and gets to see and vote on everybody's games. I think it would be really fun to do something like that at a convention. Let everybody's designing at the same time. Okay. Depth. Yeah, last card of this particular set. And perfect. Okay, we have one. Oh, we're more than halfway done. We just have this one full page and then this half of a page. I'm wondering if I should laminate and or sleeve this one since it's going to be played in hand. those of you who have this one, did you end up sleeving yours? They look like American Standard proportion, but I think they're quite a bit smaller so that they can fit on the page. At least that's what my brain is telling me just from eyeballing it. I'll be honest, I was definitely a person that was not about sleeves when I first got into the hobby. Growing up, I played a lot of trading card games and collectible card games. So I was into like Pokemon, the Harry Potter trading card game, Digimon, all that, the Lord of the Rings one that's super old. And I was told to always sleeve my cards, at least the decks that I would play with, and then I had binders for all my other stuff. When I got into board games, I thought, seems overly, seemed a little unnecessary, but then I started getting more board games, and there's some that they just have certain requirements for sleeving, like based on the prettiness of the game, based on if the cards are shuffled a lot, and they don't, if it's a bluffing game where like marking the cards will be an issue, they have black borders or full art, and based on the amount that I play them. So I had like very strict rules about it. And then I was playing Targi, and I love Targi so much. I'll even play that game outside when it's nice out on the patio. So I decided to sleeve it. And that was my first quote unquote ugly game that I sleeved. And from there, I just kind of haven't gone back. Not that I sleeve every game. So this game is Galdor's Grip. It's an in-hand card game. And it's gonna have a published copy, so yeah. Yeah, I was gonna print this one out right away, and then I thought maybe I'll wait for the published copy, but now I just want to play it because I've been hearing so many good things and I feel like I'm missing out. And I can always gift the P&P copy when my copy arrives. Palm Island, nice. Yeah, that was the first in-hand card game I had ever tried. Dragons of Etch and Stone. That sounds very familiar. Just got this game as well as I love it. Sleeve the cards, played in hand. That's very fair. The published version, I have to take a look because I haven't looked in a hot minute. Let me open up the link. And there's a link to both of these games down in the description for people who are interested in looking at them. This one. Looking at the threads forums. Ooh, Mage Knight and 18 cards. That sounds fantastic. Huh. I thought I had seen things about Galdor's Grip being picked up by a publisher. Am I crazy? Does anybody know? Oh, publishing. Bad news, good news. Oh, yeah. The bad news was Greg said they're no longer publishing it on the Game Crafter because it's been signed to a publisher. Let me see if there's an update. Yeah, it looks like the contract is just taking a while, so there hasn't been a legit update. But yes, confirmed that they are going to be, this art, while it is nice, it's AI generated. So for the published version, they're going to have an illustrator that works with the, whatchamacall, an actual illustrator that works with the publisher. Yes, let's see, is there anything else? And it sounds like the publisher, they're gonna do a published version, but they're also talking about getting a PNP version for a low cost for people that can't necessarily get a purchased copy or can't afford or don't, you know, live in the area. Yeah, to be fair, I think if you're working on something as a passion project and you're not charging money for it, while it, like, realistically, it would be nice to get a real human artist to work on your stuff, right? Especially, but considering that I don't know that this was ever, like, it was available for free, and now that it's getting picked up by a publisher and there's a budget for the game, definitely hiring like an actual human artist, I think, is the right way to go. But I don't think I can really fault anybody for making a game because they want to and, you know, wanting it to look nice. It's not like, especially if it's just them working on the game, you know, they're not charging people for it. It's not like they're making money off of it. So it's hard to justify, because if you're just making something for fun, like, you might not be able to justify or might not have the means to spend a lot of money to get custom made art for it. So yeah. So I think, you know, as it is as the print and play version, I don't personally have any issues with it, and I think that it's great that now that it is getting picked up, like I said, that they will be using actual illustrations from an artist that works with the publisher. I will have to add Dragons of Stone to my list. Do y'all know, is it on Board Game Geek, Print and Play Arcade? Where can I find it? Because that sounds really fun. I really enjoy fantasy themed games. Streaming while I'm doing my homework. Oh no, I'm sorry. Luckily, this is a pretty chill stream, so you can probably get some homework done. Picture book. Wrote picture books, working on publishing, and the artist had to sell a kidney for the art. Yeah, it's expensive, because when I was looking into making games and self-publishing some games, like I said, way back in the day, looking at just general rates for artists, it is not cheap. And that is a good thing, because it shouldn't be, because developing art is a skill. And artists definitely deserve to be paid probably even more. But as somebody who's just working on a project for not for a profit, it definitely, it's not a small expense to shell out and get, you know, proper art for a game. Dragons of Stone crowd sale for the expansion on February 6th from GameCrafter. Sick. All right, I'm excited. Joe's also got birdscaping and a new Ark Nova inspired game. Okay. I actually got the expansion for Ark Nova, but I haven't gotten to try it yet. Speaking of Ark Nova. I'm gonna add Dragons of Etch and Stone right now before I forget. Northvale is the expansion, it looks like. Ooh. Oh yeah, I did look at this one on GameCrafter. I think it might already be on my wish list. I'm gonna put it on my BGG one too, so I don't forget. Okay. Crowd sale will have the base game and expansion into it. Yeah, I usually do 4mm, but these ones already have a printed one, so it's like 7, about 7. Okay. Ooh, we're almost there. This is exciting. Clean these up a bit. There we go. Oops, almost picked up the scissors instead of the corner rounder. Y'all know the idiom cut corners? Is this what they meant? So the cards, I think I'm gonna see if I can pop some sleeves on them, because that's way easier than laminating and then recutting. If I can't, if the sleeves don't fit super well, then I will probably end up laminating them. So people were saying it is played in hand, and again, I don't want to just, when I get a published copy, I don't want to just throw it away or have it be super worn down and stuff. Yeah, there is a tuck box on BGG. That is right. Maybe I'll have to print that out and construct it here. But I do also have some boxes too. Just a big fan, not the author. There we go. With a number of games going climate conscious, have particular feelings on sleeving cards. So it's a lot of plastic, but like you said, I think to keep the games looking nice and pristine so that you're not going through, I don't know, having to buy like a whole replacement game is definitely less eco-friendly than just sleeving a game that you know is going to play a lot and that's going to have a lot of wear and tear on it. Like I said, I don't sleeve a majority of my games, just some of them, and there are ones that I would feel compelled to have to repurchase based on the card quality affecting the mechanics of the game, or based on just like the aesthetics of the game being a very big draw for that particular game. So yeah. The Game Crafter tuck boxes. Oh, thanks, Kay. And thanks for reminding me about the corner puncher. Yeah, and reprinted. That's very fair as well for sleeving games. But the Game Crafter tuck boxes are pretty nice. I know that my copy of Decula was one of the ones that was printed from there, and it was like a little bit shiny, pretty hefty. They don't have any concerns about it getting damaged or what have you. And then they also use not tuck boxes, but the same kind of thickness and stuff for their 18 card games that come in just like the paper, folded paper box things. Why can't I think of it? I guess it's not a tuck box. I can't think of what it's called. So the weight for these, it's not that thick. I should have checked what the thing says, but I don't know. I'll have to check and put it in the description or something afterwards because it's in my closet in the other room. Hook box, thank you. Oof. Oh, I don't know why I'm cleaning up. I still have to cut those floors. I'm trying to think. I did end up making a top box for Aqua Garden because there was one that was included with the print and play files. But because I didn't want it to get smashed on the shelf, I ended up putting the top box in one of these boxes. So for Galdor's grip, I don't know if I'm gonna make the tuck box. I think I might just one of these, unless somebody wants to compel me to do otherwise, if it's really nice. Just use deck boxes for games. Nice, yeah. I know a lot of people do that as well. That's very fair. Three games I got that were eco-friendly recently: Daybreak, Search for Species X, and Canopy. Yeah. Canopy is so beautiful. I got to play that one again recently. And Search for Species X. I'm curious to see. I really like the look of Search for Planet X a little bit more, but I've heard that some of the mechanics are better. And Daybreak. That sounds familiar. It's a cooperative game. Oh yeah, I remember seeing the cover for this. Cool. Okay. Got Canopy because of recommendation. Oh, yep. That's fair. I think I had it on my... It was one of the top 10 solo game lists. I don't think it was the Solo Flexible. It might have been from 2022. I was hesitant on that one because I just thought, oh, you know, it's got Vincent Dutronard. Pretty game about the rainforest. Ooh. But then I ended up getting a copy, playing it at 2, being like, this is okay. And then I played it solo at work and I was like, oh my god, this is so good. Sleeve physical button shy games, like them for shuffling, set the wallets aside. I sleeve a lot of my button shy games too, because they are games that I tend to bring everywhere. Like I'll bring them to restaurants or on the train if I'm traveling somewhere, or to work, and I don't want the cards to get dirty. I play those games a lot. But yeah, it does. As soon as they have any expansions and sleeves, they don't really fit in the wallet super well. So that is one unfortunate side effect. But games like, even like Stew, I sleeved because I play that game so freaking much. And now it's out of print, so I'm very glad that I did. Hopefully they'll reprint it soon. Tussie Mussie's in a thick wallet. Yeah. Luckily they have the expansion wallet for Tussie Mussie, so even with its sleeve you can split them up if you get the expansion stuff and the solo play stuff. Okay. Good. I didn't end up using my X-Acto stuff. That's fine with me. Shades of Ink is on my to-play table. Thinking about adding RPG story prompt aids like Story Engine deck or Game Master's Apprentice cards to tell a full story. Ooh, that would be really fun. You'll have to let me know how that goes. Speaking of button shy RPGs, I finally played, I guess this is it. Ooh, that was in December. So good. Very excited to try that one more. Although that one's 2-player, not solo. Fun fact, played Canopy with my mom. She kicked my butt. And in Clans of Caledonia. Yeah, okay, to be fair. If someone's smashing at clans, you know they're a threat to society. That game is not to be taken lightly. Button Shy Big Box. Oof, you know, honestly, it's been in my brain. I've been thinking it. I've been wondering. But the problem is that I sort my games on my shelves by player count and sometimes by like mechanics, so all my cooperative games or dexterity games are together. So I don't have all of my Button Shy games in one particular area on my shelf. They're like in chunks on the different shelves around the game area. So there's that. All right, sweet. Let me see which of these it fits in best. Oh, it fits in here really nicely. That's perfect. Doing Board Game of the Month Club this year. Yeah. Lots of solo games. Yes. I posted it in my stories. I'm gonna try to post an actual post on it on Instagram, but not solo, but Picky Pixies. I just got a preview copy of that. That one's pretty interesting. I wasn't interested in it, but it is very fun. And there was the fantasy form. What is it called? Oh my gosh, my brain. The new fantasy ones. It's like a spiritual successor to. Is it called Fantasy Form? Fantasy Form, yes. Very excited. I do really like Spaceship, but as y'all may know, I'm not a super huge fan of sci-fi. Very big fan of fantasy. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. The Pixie game? Yes, it is from Elizabeth Hargrave. I wasn't really sold on the theme or the aesthetic of it, but I do really like deduction games, and that one's a pretty good one. Putting all my WOP games into a vault would be neat. Or agree that organizing would be harder. Tiny Epic Series is a bit difficult to organize. Yeah, that's very fair. Sweet. All right. They have Catnap, Galdor's Grip. Try Converge from Button Shy if you like the against the AI for solo. Is Converge? Hold on. This is the newer one that's basically like Avignon, right? Yeah. They had this one at Button Shy Con, but I didn't get to try it. I was so busy playing a lot of other games. But I've heard good things about this one. Maybe I'll have to check that out. Excellent. Backup laminator. Ooh, that was loud. I'm sorry. I don't know if the mic picked that up, but I just dropped my extension power strip. And there's an expansion. All right, good to know. Good to know. I did at ShyCon. I did get to try Avignon for the first time. Ooh, have fun, Ken. Thanks for stopping by. We're just wrapping up here anyway. I did finally get to try Avignon, but I didn't get to try Converge. It was very sad. Carl from Purple Moose has a good playthrough. He always has great playthroughs. I'll play Button Shy stuff. Expansion is for solo. Nice. Yeah, I wonder if I'll like the solo more then, because I wasn't a huge fan of Avignon. For 2 players, it was alright. I know it's an older title of theirs. It definitely kind of feels like an older title, if that makes sense. So curious to see how Converge changes that up, and curious to see how the solo is, because the other game of theirs that's a 2-player that's similar, kind of back and forth push and pull, is Antinomy. I made a video and apparently I said it wrong, so now I'm super self-conscious. But the 2-player version of that one I do like quite a bit, but the solo version I love. So I'm curious to know if I would also love the solo version of Converge and what have you. Does Ragemore have an expansion? That is a great question. Boyan made a 1-card promo for the print and play, but I don't think that Button Shy has picked it up as a whatchamacallit, as an actual published thing yet, but I'm hoping they will. Even though it's just the 1 card, like, it would be nice to with Galdor's Grip, snag the expansions or just the base? Oh, the expansions really make the game? Well, I just have the base game. I figured that would be a good start for the print and play, and if that's promising, then when it gets published, that I'll buy everything for it. Ooh, it has an unofficial 2-card expansion too for Ragemore? What? Whoa. Alright, I'm gonna have to check those out. Cool. Well, I think that about wraps it up for here. I'm just gonna have to put all the stuff back in the closet. But thank y'all so much for joining. Super fun getting to hang and chat, and I finally made some progress on my print and play list. So hoping to do this again pretty soon. Maybe even make it like a scheduled monthly thing or something, so we can all check in about print and play games and what we're making, and maybe we can like vote on a game to make together for next time. There's one y'all are interested in. But yeah. Hey, no problem. Hopefully dinner's delicious and fun. I'm so bad at cooking, so I was getting jealous. I'm not jealous, but I have a deep appreciation for people that can cook well. So yeah, hopefully we'll be having another print and play chill vibes day coming up soon. Keep your eyes and ears open. This one was kind of impromptu, so I'll try to plan ahead a little bit more next time. But yeah, thanks as always for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.